week, which I think you know how strong of a team Melissa Bennett has at Oxford. I'm thrilled to get to have this opportunity to play on FNN and go up against such a historically strong program at Spring Garden.
You know, I was thinking about talking to you. This is almost got to be mirror-like for you from back in your days when you played down at Woodland with your dad. Such a strong program here at Spring Garden. It's almost so much like those days back in Woodland.
All right, well, I don't know if we can hold a candle to Spring Garden, but it is nice to be put in the same category with them. So like I said, it's always fun to come to Spring Garden. It's an honor to get to be here and experience a place that really takes girls basketball seriously.
Talk a little bit, Courtney, about what you think it's going to take to manage this game and slow this bunch down.
Well, obviously, you've got to control Ace Austin. And obviously, that's a lot easier said than done. And then also, Chloe
And we welcome you to the gymnasium at Hokes Bluff High School, where it's Championship Saturday. 2 games for us today here on FNN from the Etowah County Basketball Tournament, and our first of 2 games today, the Girls Varsity Championship, featuring the 2nd seed in the Lady Lions of Sardis, and then one of the top teams in Class 5A across the state of Alabama in the Lady Panthers of Southside. We wish you a happy game day wherever you're watching us from. James Hardy with you and Jim Jacobs alongside me as per usual. And Jim, we got some hardware to hand out today.
You know, there is nothing like a basketball evening where there's trophies on the line. You know, a little something to take to the house.
That's right, and for one team, for Sardis, it's an opportunity for them to make a statement.
Well, yeah, they need to, because they met Southside earlier at the Panthers' place, and the comp, they call it, and it didn't turn out to be a very good night for the Lady Lions. It was a long trip home. Southside spanked them pretty good, James. One of the questions we'll have for the coach here coming up in just a couple of minutes when I go to the floor is, how do you adjust from that? I mean, what did you learn? How do you get your girls motivated to come in here and play a team that, you know, a month or so ago was a lot better than you are?
And then also it's, in a way, a statement opportunity for Southside, but as far as how good they can be, especially looking ahead to the postseason.
Well, there's no question this Southside team is good, and there's no question that their aspirations are much higher than the Etowah County Basketball Tournament. They plan on seeing us in February at JSU and possibly us driving to Birmingham to see them at the Legacy Arena in early March.
Right, absolutely. So let's go ahead and take the time out, and we'll visit with our coaches, Justin Bowen for Southside and Heath Cullum for Sardis, after this timeout, as you're watching the Etowah County Basketball Tournament on FNN.
Does the crawl space in your home look like this? Standing water and high humidity are the perfect makings for mold and wood rot, and that means expensive damages to your home. Solve the problem with a call to the experts at S&H Waterproofing and Construction. They've been turning this into this for over a quarter century. Protect your greatest investment with a free assessment today. Get quality work at a guaranteed lower price. S&H Waterproofing and Construction.
It's tip-off time, and from all of us at Bucks Island,
run the floor with the Loft Tackle Store.
Get the assist from the team in service.
drive the paint with the parts team.
Shoot the lights out with the sales team.
It's a slam dunk with Bucks Island. Go get them and run them out your gym.
Treating our customers the way we want to be treated since 1948. BucksIsland.com or call 1-800-I-AM-READY. Let our team help you win on the water.
At Glencoe Hokes Bluff Funeral Home and Anniston Memorial Funeral Home, we see our community as extended family.
Hello, I'm Mark Box. My wife Holly and I would like to thank the families that we have had the honor to serve. We see our community as our extended family. That's why we work so hard to invest in our community and the families that call it home. At Glencoe Hokes Bluff Funeral Home and Anniston Memorial Funeral Home, you'll find services that are tailored to meet your needs, whatever those may be.
Piedmont Cutoff Highway in Glencoe and Highway 431 in Anniston. Our family serving your family.
In the final moments, as far as these two teams getting their warm-ups in before tuning things up and playing for the Etowah County Championship Tournament Trophy here at Hokes Bluff High School. We're at the gymnasium at Hokes Bluff High School. James Hardy with you as we're awaiting our two coaches to visit our microphones, as Jim Jacobs awaiting both head coach Heath Cullum for Sardis and Southside head coach Justin Bowen. Should be at least a solid matchup today. Southside coming in as one of the top teams in the state of Alabama, and we'll send it down to Jim Jacobs.
Coach Cullum here with us. And, Coach, I guess the first question is, how do you get your girls ready for a game like this when just a little over a month ago you played these girls and it wasn't a good night for you?
No, everything that could have went wrong. Basically, I told them if I can't get up for this game, I don't know why they're playing the sport. So, I think we'll have a lot different attitude and energy level tonight.
It seems like it's going to take a level of physicality, especially down in the box, to do anything against Southside.
Oh, yeah, Grace Ann's a special player, so, we're going to have to really focus on her and get her boxed out and, limit her. We're not going to be able to stop her completely, but we got to limit her touches as much as possible.
And, Coach, of course, staying in it early and not letting it get away from you has got to be big on your mind.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we, I told them the turnovers are key. We got to value the basketball and not let them score easy points. We got to make them earn everything they get.
All right, Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Coach Cullum. Sardis comes in at 18-7 on the season, and also area champions in Class 5A, Area 13, as we'll send it back down to Jim with head coach Justin Bowen for Southside.
I'll turn the page on you just a little bit, like I just asked Coach Cullum. You guys played these girls about a month or so ago at your place and bloodied them up pretty good. How do you get your girls motivated to play this game when obviously in their mind they think they're a lot better?
Yeah, I mentioned it the other day when we had the interview, but our girls have only won this tournament one time in school history. So that was our motivation this week, just to try to make history again. I think a lot of people put a lot of stock in this county tournament, so we tried to use that too as just a little bit of motivation. But we know if we come out and we do what we're supposed to, then we'll have a really good shot to win.
Justin, talk a little bit about the pace of the game. It seems to me you guys are going to want to go really fast and make them run the floor.
Yeah, that's been kind of our style this year. We have a really quick team, a fast team, an experienced basketball smart team, so we try to play quick. And then at times we'll switch some stuff up, just try to keep people off balance once they get into a rhythm. But we're going to start fast, and you'll see that from the tip.
And talk a little bit about what your team has to do to make sure they don't get off to a good start.
Yeah, I think you have to limit their senior players. They got Wallace. She's a really, really good player. I think they kind of go as she goes. So we can't really let her get rolling, let her get started, and we got to put pressure on their younger girls because they are a fairly young team. So I think we kind of got to do that, got to protect the ball, and just do what we do.
Let's go have some fun.
All right, appreciate it. See you.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you to Coach Justin Bowen for Southside. As Southside had one of their most complete games of the season yesterday in a 66-14 win over Hokes Bluff. As we'll send it down to the floor for the announcement of our starting lineups.
Representative Mark Gidley, County Commissioner Joey Statham, County Commissioner Johnny Grant, Hokes Bluff Mayor Scott Reeves, and the Hokes Bluff City Council. The Glencoe Hokes Bluff Funeral Home and Cemetery, the People's Independent Bank of Hokes Bluff, N&P Financial, Northeast Orthopedics, and Sandlin Rentals. We would also like to thank again our sponsors for the hospitality room this week, the Hokes Bluff Methodist Church, Hokes Bluff First Baptist Church, Union No. 3 Baptist Church, and Jack's of Hokes Bluff. And without further ado, good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Hokes Bluff High School for tonight's championship matchup between the Sardis Lady Lions and the Southside Lady Panthers. The starting lineups first this evening for the visitors on the scoreboard, the Sardis Lady Lions. Starting at center, a sophomore, number 11, Vea Wilmore. Starting at guard, a senior, number 13, Grace Harris. Starting at guard, a senior, number 23, Jordan Knight. Starting at forward, a senior, number 33, Kaylin Wallace. And at guard, a sophomore, number 15, Adriana Potier. The Lady Lions are coached by Heath Cullum and assisted by Dylan Bolding, Jason Bynum, and Belle Trammell. And now for the starting lineups for the home team on the scoreboard, the Southside Lady Panthers. Starting at guard, a senior, number 1, Jovi Marble. Starting at guard, a senior, number 5, Sarah Kate Yancey. Starting at guard, a senior, number 15, Layla Davis. Starting at guard, a senior, number 23, Madison Shaw. And at center, a senior, number 20, Grace Ann Rose. The Lady Panthers are coached by Justin Bowen and assisted by Will Smith, Kyle Kilgore, and Lauren Hunt.
So there's your look at the starting lineup. And, Jim, when you look at how well Southside played across the board, both offensively and defensively, they held Hokes Bluff as far as for Southside, the lowest amount of points that they've given up all season long, 14 against Hokes Bluff, and then offensively, really balanced scoring-wise with 7 players scoring at least 6 points or more.
Yeah, with Southside, you're going to get a lot of balance. They've got some really great players, senior-laden team. I mean, you got to admit it, James, this is their year. If they're going to do it, this is their year.
We're underway as the opening tip won by Southside as they're in their home whites as the top seed in this Etowah County tournament. So it'll be Jovi Marble, who had an excellent defensive game yesterday, handling the point guard honors. Madison Shaw getting the start today as she did not get the start yesterday for Southside. Here's Shaw in the corner, tries the three and misses as the rebound goes to Grace Ann Rose. So the second chance opportunity coming up for Southside as they'll go up against a 2-3 zone defense.
Yeah, their perimeter ball movement is really solid. They get good looks, and they've got shooters that can knock them down, and sometimes they pitch it into Grace Ann Rose, and she'll do the work in the paint.
Here's Marble going in, has to kick out to Yancey. One more pass to Davis. Here's the entry feed to Rose as she turns, gets to the basket, and misses the chippy as the rebound goes to Sardis. So Sardis escapes at least an early opportunity at a second chance opportunity for Southside as Sardis with their first possession offensively. Yeah. They're in their scarlet tops and bottoms, as will be Potier having to kick out as Wallace There's nowhere to turn for Wilmore, as it'll be a
3-second, I believe.
Yeah, 3-second violation, and so it'll be the first turnover of the ball game for Sardis. So Sardis once again in their scarlet tops and bottoms.
That's the kind of possession they need, though, James. They need it in the bricks, down in the blocks, and get physical with this really fast Southside team.
Shaw at the top of the key will be Davis. So it goes back to Marble. Once again against the zone defenses. That three-point attempt blocked by Wallace as the loose ball goes to Sardis.
Defensively, Sardis has had 2 really good trips down the floor.
Kaylin Wallace got that last block on a Madison Shaw three-point shot attempt as Wallace tries to throw it down low as it goes out of bounds. A turnover for Sardis. So good idea, but the pass a bit high that time for Wilmore underneath the basket.
But if you're Sardis, what you don't want to do is have trips where you at least don't get a look at the rim.
They haven't gotten a look at the rim yet, as that three is well off the mark for Layla Davis as the ball goes out of bounds off of Sardis. So we've played 2 minutes and change, and neither team has been able to get a basket so far. Both teams with outstanding defenses, as Sardis gives up 40.7 points per game. Davis cut off baseline, out for the 3 ball for Yancey. That's a no.
Boy, you give her that kind of look, this is the result you're going to get right here. Squares up, nice lofted shot, and drains it.
With a hand in her face to boot as Wallace nearly travels, but gets it to the top of the key. It'll be Pondier inside to Wilmore as she loses it out of bounds and will stay on the left side with Sardis as it's last deflected by Southside.
The one thing Sardis can't get into is a shooting duel with Southside. That'll be a deadly possession of minutes for them if that happens.
They do get it inbounds. As here's the pass.
Great steal.
Yeah, stolen that time by Marble. Her first steal of the game. Already 3 turnovers for Sardis offensively.
Yeah, she just stepped in front of Wallace and took that one.
Here's Davis for 3. That's no good. Rebound to Rose. She goes back up, no. Second try, she passes it out as it gets blocked on the shot by Madison Shaw, and that'll be Kaylin Wallace on her second block of the day.
Get that out of here.
Yeah, so Wallace already a good day defensively as Shaw fakes, goes in,
good
shoots the mid-range
fake.
shot, no, as the rebound gets tracked down by Marble. Jovi Marble with the long rebound as Layla Davis drives and gets bumped at the baseline. So that's our first foul of the ball game going on Sardis. So with 4:52 to go in the first quarter, still very much a low-scoring game as Veda Wilmore with the foul. Here's Shaw on the drive. She gets hacked toward the basket, and she'll have a trip to the free throw line. So 2 fouls in just about the last 5 seconds or so. So it'll be Kaylin Wallace, her first personal foul. Madison Shaw to the free throw line. First free throw up and good. So she has her first point of the afternoon. Taking a look at Shaw's totals coming into the tournament, a 77% free throw shooter. As yesterday against Hokes Bluff off the bench had 7 points. As her second free throw also up and good. So all 5 points belong to Southside as some full court pressure for the Lady Panthers. Sardis gets it up the floor as Wallace right in front of us slows things down and gets some help at the timeline. Jordan Knight wearing number 23 today with the road uniforms for the second seed Sardis Lady Lions.
Has Sardis had a shot yet? There's the first one, maybe.
Yeah, and first shot was a pretty good one that time for Wallace, no, but a rebounding foul after the rebound by Layla Davis. And I think Kaylin Wallace got that foul, Jim, and if it is her, that's her second, and it is indeed her second.
Well, that's one you don't want in foul trouble.
Yeah, that's one of the best players that they have on the roster, as she's going to have to take an early seat to the bench with 2 fouls, as she had 15 points yesterday in a 56-39 win over Glencoe. Mallory Brooks into the game as Shaw tries the 3 and banks it home from the corner, Jim. Let's take a second look at that. That's a tough angle on the bank shot there, as she hit it almost on the top right-hand side of the glass and got it to go home for the first 3 of the game. Here's Pottier driving, tries to go up and under, and gets slapped underneath the basket in the paint, and the first foul of the game goes on Southside.
And that's what Sardis has to do, James. They've got to penetrate. They've got to create fouling issues or getting shots close to the basket. They can't get into an outside perimeter shooting game against this Southside bunch.
Sarah Kate Yancey on the foul. As into the game, Sydney Rutledge for Sardis. Under 4 minutes to go, opening quarter, as Knight for the 3, too strong. Rebound goes to Southside. A strong rebound by Sarah Kate Yancey as she advances it up the floor. Yancey over to Davis, drives baseline but gets cut off. Brooks, extra pass to Shaw. Against the 2-3 zone, Brooks, overhead pass, and will have a holding foul away from the basketball on Sardis. So Sardis up to 14 fouls now, as they're going to call that foul, I believe, on Mia Fowler. And it is indeed on Fowler, her first. So inbounds at the baseline, as it'll be Davis for 3, top of the key, and banks it home.
I'm telling you, James, if you bank it in from 3 land, you ought to get an extra point.
The bank open for Southside from the perimeter on the Saturdays. That is their second banked in 3. And on the full court pressure, a traveling violation on Mia Fowler.
Yeah, she got stopped and just couldn't control the momentum and kind of bunny hopped, and Southside creates the turnover.
So Southside getting a little more momentum offensively as they have held so far Sardis off the board. Davis fakes the 3, picks up the dribble at the baseline as the entry pass deflected and stolen, and Rose gets it right back. Here's the 3 for Shaw, got it.
You just can't leave her open.
And there you see Grace Ann Rose just rip away the basketball, leading to that Madison Shaw 3 as she leads all scorers with 8 and a 30-second timeout, obviously, for Sardis, down 14-0.
Yeah, you know, just what you didn't want to see happen if you're Sardis or a Sardis fan is this kind of start for Southside, because Sardis is not built to come from behind against a team like this.
Well, you look at the win for Southside yesterday. They held Hokes Bluff to 6 in the first quarter, 4 in the second and the third quarters, and a big fat goose egg to Hokes Bluff in the fourth quarter. And right now it's a big fat goose egg for Sardis as we still have 2:52 to go until the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, no question, James. We're seeing a state-quality basketball team here in Southside.
Yeah, Justin Bowen's squad certainly making a statement here in the Etowah County Championship as the layup no and the rebound goes to Marble. Fast break, a 3-on-1 as Marble goes coast to coast as she runs into a defender. And we'll have...
I think it's a blocking foul.
I think so. It was a late indication from our officials, as it'll be two shots coming up, as it'll be Sydney Rutledge, and it looks as if Rutledge is down on the floor, a little bit hurt.
She banged her head pretty good in that contact on the floor.
So after they take care of the injury situation, we'll have free throws coming up. In fact, let's go ahead and take this injury time out as you're watching the Etowah County Basketball Tournament Championship here on FNN.
Bama Sheds and Pole Barns, locally and family owned with the best customer service. Custom built to fit your needs with free delivery and setup. Design and price online or stop by and see what we can do for you. Nobody beats our prices and nobody beats our quality. Built in Alabama, made in Alabama. BamaSheds.com.
2 minutes, 39 seconds left in the opening quarter as Southside leads Sardis 14-0. It was scoreless through about the first 2 minutes and change of this opening quarter, but thanks to Madison Shaw's 8 points and really Southside's suffocating defense, Sardis has had a tough time trying to get any good looks at the basket. Jovi Marble to the free throw line for a couple after the Sydney Rutledge blocking foul as the free throw no good. Marble yesterday, 6 points, but certainly was an MVP as far as her defense against Hokes Bluff. One more free throw to go for Marble. Free throw up and that bounces high and through. So 1 point rather, the first point of the game for Marble. As we'll have a substitution as Fowler checks out. And coming into the ball game will be Jolie Taylor, the sophomore guard for Sardis. Must have been a lane violation because the free throw not awarded for Southside. As we go under 2.5 minutes to go, as Taylor will sink the three.
And there's the first points of the game for Sardis. Nice little jumper from the left wing.
There you see a good pass from Adriana Pottier on the assist to Jolie Taylor. So Taylor, some instant offense that time off the bench as Southside with the ball. Shaw back to Marble as she dribbles over to Shaw. Marble, top the key, swings it over to Mallory Brooks. Davis at the baseline. As good hands by Sardis as Southside still has it. Marble jump stops and tries to throw it up and gets it blocked on her shot attempt. And we'll have a whistle. And
Marble's going to pick up the foul.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, is Jovi Marble on the reach-in about 90 feet away from the basket picks up the foul. So her first, team second, as still a comfortable cushion for Southside as they began this ball game up 14-0. Southside has not trailed so far in this Etowah County tournament as they led wire to wire yesterday against Hokes Bluff.
I'm not sure Southside's trailed at all this season.
Well, they do have just a handful of losses on the year, coming in 18-4 on the year as the cross-court pass goes out of bounds, a turnover for Sardis. So Southside has possession of the basketball. So for Southside, they have 8 from Madison Shaw and then 3-pointers each from Sarah Kate Yancey and Layla Davis. Davis finds at the free throw line Brooks. Yancey back out to Brooks for the three. That's too strong. Rebound goes to Sardis. Adriana Pottier with good block-out position that time of the long rebound, as that was a bad pass from Jordan Knight that goes out of bounds. Looked as if Pottier was not ready for that pass for Knight as it just goes into the first row of seats in front of us.
I don't think she was even looking for it, to tell you the truth.
So Brooks goes over to Justin Bowen to get some instructions on the next play. 1 minute to go here in the opening quarter. 2 Sardis substitutions set to come in at the next whistle.
Looks like they're trying to draw Sardis out.
Yeah, a little 4 corners action as Mallory Brooks yo-yos the basketball right in front of the scorer's table. Now Sardis starts to come out and extend their defense. Davis shoots the 3 ball. Off the back rim, rebound knocked out of bounds by Sarah Kate Yancey for Southside. So 32.7 seconds to go in the first quarter as we'll have Grace Harris and Sydney Rutledge check back in for Sardis. Full court pressure forces the turnover.
Threw it away.
So you had Mallory Brooks come up to her defender at the very last second as the ball goes out of bounds at the baseline, and we'll have Mia Fowler check back in for Sardis.
Sloppy ball handling.
Only 1 field goal so far in the ball game. The inbounds pass nearly stolen, and we'll have a holding foul on the play. Looks as if the foul will go on Southside.
Is that on Grace Ann Rose?
We'll find out here in a moment, as it will be, number 2, Mallory Brooks, on her first personal foul. So just the third team foul for Southside with 27.8 seconds to go in the first quarter. The boys varsity championship still to come here at the Etowah County basketball tournament, as we'll have a pushing foul. You had a double team between Brooks and Layla Davis, and so it'll be, looks as if, I think it'll be number 2, Mallory Brooks, her second personal foul. So Sardis with the basketball, as we'll have a traveling violation. Indecision that time, as far as looked as if Pottier either deciding, or check that, Grace Harris thought about shooting the 3 initially and then pulled it back and committed the travel. So Grace Harris goes onto the bench. Should be 1 offensive possession to go for Southside before we get to the end of the first quarter. Here's Shaw for the 3 ball, no good. Rebound over the back foul on Layla Davis. So for Davis, that will be her first, and it's going to be the 5th team foul for Southside. So free throws coming up for Sardis.
Yeah, Justin Bowen not going to like that move by Davis to put Sardis on the line to shoot here with, just seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, they've racked up about 4 fouls in the last 45 seconds or so, as we'll have a free throw coming up. Mia Fowler to the line as she bricks the first free throw off the back rim. Fowler, at least one of the main bench players, the 6th man off the bench for Coach Heath Cullum, the senior guard, gets 1 out of 2 at the line. So she's on the board, as we'll have checking out of the game Emily Zavala, the junior guard for Sardis. 5 seconds to go. It'll be Shaw for the 3 ball, no good, as we'll have a whistle right before the buzzer, and it'll be a foul on the rebound. And let's see who they call the foul on. I think it's going to stay off to our right, and they'll call the foul on Sardis.
Yep.
And it'll be Sydney Rutledge's 2nd personal foul. So free throws coming up for Layla Davis. About almost a 90-second dry spell, maybe about a 2-minute dry spell for Southside on offense, as they'll have an opportunity to get some points before the end of the quarter. Davis shoots and misses the free throw. So she'll have another one coming. Out goes Mia Fowler, and back in will come Pottier, Adriana Pottier for Sardis. Second free throw up, and that's good for Davis. So she's up to 4 points. And that'll end the first quarter, as it's been all Southside, especially on defense, as they suffocated the Lady Lions in the first quarter. As Southside goes into the second quarter up 15-4, as you're watching the Girls Varsity Championship of the Etowah County Basketball Tournament on FNN.
Does the crawl space in your home look like this? Standing water and high humidity are the perfect makings for mold and wood rot, and that means expensive damages to your home. Solve the problem with a call to the experts at S&H Waterproofing and Construction. They've been turning this into this for over a quarter century. Protect your greatest investment with a free assessment today. Get quality work at a guaranteed lower price. S&H Waterproofing and Construction. Griffin Laser Engraving in Lincoln is your authorized local dealer for personalized Yeti products. Get your Yeti customized for your team, a business, or a special event. Your color, graphics, even photos. At Griffin Laser Engraving, we make it the way you want it. Order just one or hundreds, and you'll find a full line of Yeti coolers and accessories on hand, even the hard-to-find items. Nationally recognized, but right here at home in Lincoln for quality awards, trophies, powder coating, and personalized Yeti items, Griffin Laser Engraving.
It's the Southside Panthers up 15-4 going into the second quarter. James Hardy, Jim Jacobs with you here on FNN for the Etowah County Basketball Tournament Championship. Our first of 2 today is there's a good spin move, but the shot short by Wilmore as the rebound goes to Southside. Shaw in transition leaves it off for Mallory Brooks. Brooks over to Marble. Back to Brooks. Marble goes in against the zone as Shaw looks for the entry pass. Can't do so as Brooks inside the three-point line. Davis now back to Marble. Cross-court pass over to Shaw, who's had a big first half so far with 8 points, a game high. Here's Shaw. Thought about the three. They want to get it in the rows, but Sardis has not let them do so as far as their zone D. Southside tries to swing it around as Davis tries the three. That's no good. Shaw goes in and at least tips the rebound to Brooks. Shaw down to Davis, goes in, turns, shoots off the glass, no. Rebound to Davis as she rips it away from 2 defenders. Rose out, 3 ball up, and too strong for Marble. Rebound that time by Adriana Pottier as she'll cross the timeline for Sardis.
I know Southside's knocked down a couple of threes, but in general, shooting for them has been kind of cold.
There's a foul on the shot attempt by Pottier as they're going to whistle Jovi Marble on the foul, and that's going to be her second personal foul. So 1:32 played here in the second quarter as an opportunity for Sardis to cut this lead for Southside under double figures. Pottier's free throw is off the side rim, no good.
She had a great game yesterday.
Yes, she did indeed for Sardis, as Pottier had a game-high 14 points for Sardis in that 56-39 win over Glencoe. Free throw up, and that's no good. So a blown opportunity at the line for Sardis as Grace Ann Rose comes in for the rebound. Brooks brings it up as Davis tries the three ball. That's no good. As the rebound knocked away, a loose ball goes to Sardis. Good hustle by the Lions as they'll slow things down. Across the timeline comes the Lady Lions. Fowler, extra pass over to Harris. As a good pass inside toward Harris on a double team. And coming in to force the jump ball will be Layla Davis, as it'll be Southside ball on the possession arrow.
Southside kind of hung on 15 here for a while, James.
Yeah, they only had one free throw, I think, over about the last 2.5 minutes of the first quarter. Shaw goes up against his own defense. As into the game will be Bailey Houston. At the baseline, the shot up, and that's no good for Layla Davis. As she gets her own rebound, she gets fouled underneath the basket on the shot attempt, and 2 free throws coming up for Southside.
Good job there by Davis following her shot, got the rebound off the rim basically, went right back up with it, got fouled, and now she's awarded with 2 free throws here at the charity stripe.
Davis' first free throw, that rattles home. So Layla Davis with 5, had 13 points yesterday in their 66-14 win over Hokes Bluff, as we'll have a couple of Sardis substitutions check in. So it'll be Emily Zavala, one of those 2 substitutions, and Jolie Taylor also into the game as the free throw up and good for Layla Davis. Lead extends to 17-4. Both teams actually playing pretty good, really good defensively, especially for Southside. Just the offenses really haven't shown up so far.
Sardis in trouble here. They're going to need a timeout.
In fact, indeed, it'll be a timeout called for by Heath Cullum. So that'll be their second timeout that they've used so far in this first half, and it'll be a 30-second timeout. So we'll keep it here.
Yep, let us remind everybody, James, coming up here now in about a month, or a little less than a month, we'll be up at Pete Matthews Coliseum for the NFHS Network, bringing you all 42 games of the Northeast Regionals at JSU. It starts February the 13th, goes for 9 days. I think we've got one break day in there. And a lot of basketball.
A basketball marathon for us next month over at Jacksonville State University.
Yep, so we'll hand out, let's see, 14 tickets to Birmingham, to the Legacy Arena for the AHSAA Finals that will take place later in February and into early March.
And I imagine Southside certainly one of those favorites to get at least to that point, if not beyond. There's a good drive for Taylor for Sardis as she draws the foul on Layla Davis, and that's going to be her second personal foul. So both teams with some foul issues, as you have for Southside, Marble, Brooks, and Davis with 2 personals each. As free throws coming up, as the first free throw rims off, no good. So Jolie Taylor so far with the only field goal of this game for Sardis, as we'll have a substitution. Emily Zavala back out for Sardis. As Fowler back in as the free throw off the side rim, no good. Rebound by Madison Shaw. Shaw brings it herself across the timeline. As it's been a mighty struggle for both offenses so far here in the first half. Shaw against the zone defense as Brooks has the basketball. Back to Shaw. Wants to go in, drives baseline, but gets cut off. Yancey Double teamed out to Brooks. Good fake as she goes in, lays it up and in for two.
Great job by Mallory Brooks there. Ball fake, that got her a step, and that's all she needed to get to the rim and lay it off the glass.
That might have been the most effective half-court set we've seen from Southside all game as the three ball, no, but the rebound goes to Fowler as she gets fouled on the putback attempt. Justin Bowen across the way, not exactly happy with his team's rebounding effort that time, as it'll be the third team foul here in the quarter for Southside and the first for Grace Ann Rose.
You know, and with their best player, Wallace, sitting on the bench for the better part of this quarter, James, Sardis has kind of hung around.
Yeah, they have, but they just haven't been able to generate anything offensively so far.
Defensively, they played a really solid game, I think.
Oh, without question. Free throw up, and that rims home. So that'll be the second point of the ball game for Mia Fowler. So, and the first point of the quarter as well for Sardis. As Southside with the basketball. Marble pulls up and misses a little short that time on this 8-footer as the rebound goes to Sardis.
See if the Lions can get some offense going here.
Looks as if Knight got the rebound. She'll try the three and miss it off the back rim. Long rebound tracked down by Pottier, however. So a second try as Taylor drives in, scoops it up, and gets that swatted out of there by Madison Shaw. So Madison Shaw has been the best player on the floor so far today for Southside. She has 8 first-quarter points along with some consistent defense on the other end. Her first block of the ball game as well as a good entry pass, but deflected and stolen. Fowler couldn't catch the pass that time as Sarah Kate Yancey in for the steal. Here's Madison Shaw for three. Got it.
You just don't let her have that spot. When you let her have it, you're going to pay for it a lot.
That's her third three of the game. As here's the triple up, and that's short, no good for Knight as the rebound, and we'll have a whistle and a timeout as Coach Justin Bowen not exactly happy with his team as he'll call a 30-second timeout.
And you know, James, I think if you took a tape measure down on the floor and measured the 3 spots that Shaw took those 3-pointers from, there wouldn't be 3 feet difference. I mean, she's just right over there on that right wing along the baseline, and she's just money from there.
I know Southside's up by 17, but I don't think I've seen a coach any hotter or irate at his or her team so far this year than what we just saw from Justin Bowen right before he called that 30-second timeout.
Well, he loves on them, but he coaches them hard, and, you know, that's what you have to do. We hear it from our friend Eddie Bullock all the time.
Absolutely, of course, part of our F&N coverage during football season. 3 minutes, 20 seconds to go until halftime, as it's been all Southside so far. They led after one quarter 15-4, as they've held Sardis so far to 1 free throw here in the second quarter. Been a zone defense utilized for the entire game so far for Sardis.
And it's worked incredibly well for them.
Brooks drives and gets free, uncontested, and blows the layup that time. Rebound goes to Sardis, as it was Knight on the rebound. Jordan Knight wearing number 23 today as she has the basketball. Tries to back in, kicks it out to Taylor. 3 up and good. Jolie Taylor, her second 3. In fact, both field goals for Sardis have come from downtown. That was a good look that time off the assist from Jordan Knight as Jolie Taylor with a team high 6. It's been Fowler and Taylor both off the bench that have provided all 8 of the points so far today for Sardis. Looks as if another substitution has come in. Leah Lewis for Southside. Here's the floater up and no good for Bailey Houston as the rebound goes to Sardis. Jordan Knight will walk it up the floor as we go under 2 minutes to go until halftime in a low-scoring affair.
It's been a defensive slugfest.
Knight hands off against the man-to-man. Diaz, a pickpocket that time for Sarah Kate Yancey. On the drive, goes in, runs over a defender and commits the offensive foul. So she becomes the 4th Southside player with 2 fouls.
That'll get Justin Bowen up off the bench.
Yeah, she just
when you don't have it, you just don't have it. You pull it back out and you run your set.
Yeah, Sarah Kate Yancey was determined to try and get to the basket, and she paid for it with the offensive foul. So Yancey, Marble, Brooks, and Davis, Layla Davis, all with 2 personal fouls each for Southside. Approaching 90 seconds left until halftime. Taylor to Knight as Knight dribbles to the free throw line. Taylor with the dribble herself as Knight tries the 3. That's short, no good. And the rebound goes out of bounds to Southside.
Yeah, that was a little bit out of her range, I think.
Yeah, a little bit short that time as we'll have a substitution. Layla Davis back in, by the way, for Southside. And we'll have a Sardis substitution as well. 14-point advantage for Southside as they've led the entire way. Marble over to Davis, cutting pass to Rose as we'll have a bumping foul by Sardis. A good cut to the basket by Grace Ann Rose as she was bumped underneath the basket. As the foul will go on Shelby Abernathy, who just checked in, her first personal. Shaw picks up the dribble as Davis swings it back over to Shaw. Wants to feed it in to Rose, but instead goes cross court to Marble, who goes in, lays it up, and no good. And I think they'll call the foul on the floor for Sardis. It'll be the 3rd team foul here in the second quarter. And I think it'll be Mia Fowler, and it'll be her 2nd personal foul. So also for Sardis, 4 different players with 2 personals. Here's the uncontested drive and a missed layup for Madison Shaw as the rebound goes to Sardis. Blown opportunity as a loose ball and a steal for Southside, and now a jump ball situation as Sardis lucky to get the ball back.
Yeah, little scrum going on right there at the midcourt logo.
So we'll have 3 substitutions check in for Southside as back in will be Yancey, Lewis, and Houston. And it'll be Emily Zavala back in for Sardis. 43 seconds to go until we get to halftime. Not exactly a thing of beauty for both teams offensively so far in the first half. Knight tries to drive in, not the best of passes, but Taylor flags it down. Sardis trying to get into double figures points-wise as Taylor leaves it off. Here's a good drive to the basket, and a tripping foul that time will go on Leah Lewis. So that'll be the 5th team foul coming up on Southside. As to the line will be Adriana Pottier. First personal for Leah Lewis, so an opportunity for Sardis to get a little bit of momentum going into the halftime locker room. Free throw up and good for Pottier. She has her first point of the game. We'll have some substitutions back in, as it'll be Abernathy and Fowler returning into action for Sardis. 1 more free throw to go for Adriana Pottier. Lines it up, shoots, and scores. 2 for 2 from the line for Pottier. Southside likely to hold for the final shot. As Yancey dribbles, far side, over to Houston. Clock approaches 10 seconds to go until halftime. Entry pass deflected, but right to Houston. Lines it up, shoots from the corner. That's too strong. As the rebound goes to Sardis with 3 seconds to go. An opportunity for a half-court heave. It's up, and it's off the rim. No good for Pottier. As we go to halftime, as Sardis hanging around here in the second quarter as they held Southside to 7 points in the second quarter. We go to halftime. It's Southside 22 and Sardis 10 here at the Etowah County Basketball Tournament.
Bama Sheds and Pole Barns. Locally and family owned with the best customer service. Custom built to fit your needs with free delivery and setup. Design and price online or stop by and see what we can do for you. Nobody beats our prices and nobody beats our quality. Built in Alabama, made in Alabama. BamaSheds.com.
At Glencoe Hokes Bluff Funeral Home and Anniston Memorial Funeral Home, we see our community as extended family.
Hello, I'm Mark Box. My wife Holly and I would like to thank the families that we have had the honor to serve. We see our community as our extended family. That's why we work so hard to invest in our community and the families that call it home. At Glencoe Hokes Bluff Funeral Home and Anniston Memorial Funeral Home, you'll find services that are tailored to meet your needs, whatever those may be.
Piedmont Cutoff Highway in Glencoe and Highway 431 in Anniston. Our family serving your family.
It's tip-off time, and from all of us at Bucks Island,
Run the floor with the Loft Tackle Store.
Get the assist from the team in service.
drive the paint with the parts team.
Shoot the lights out with the sales team.
It's a slam dunk with Bucks Island. Go get them and run them out your gym.
Treating our customers the way we want to be treated since 1948. BucksIsland.com or call 1-800-I-AM-READY. Let our team help you win on the water.
Does the crawl space in your home look like this? Standing water and high humidity are the perfect makings for mold and wood rot, and that means expensive damages to your home. Solve the problem with a call to the experts at S&H Waterproofing and Construction. They've been turning this into this for over a quarter century. Protect your greatest investment with a free assessment today. Get quality work at a guaranteed lower price. S&H Waterproofing and Construction.
At halftime in the girls varsity championship here at the Etowah County Basketball Tournament, the offense has been as cold as the weather outside so far in the first half, as the two teams have combined for just 32 points in the first half. As we'll take another look at the highlights from the first half, and it was at least some three-point shots made in the first quarter for Southside.
But they were early, James. That's the thing. They were early in the game.
As you had Madison Shaw make a couple of threes in that first quarter. 8 first quarter points for her as Layla Davis goes to the bank there in the first quarter. Grace Ann Rose gets the steal in the full court situation, leading to a Madison Shaw three from the corner. Shaw finished with 11 points in the first half as Jolie Taylor, gets the first points of the game from downtown for Sardis. And Madison Shaw with another look at the three ball.
Again.
She led all scorers, as we mentioned, with 11, as Taylor had a pretty solid first half off the bench. That was her second three of the game. In fact, she has sunk both field goals for Sardis so far in the first half. 22-10, Southside with the lead over Sardis in a defensive struggle here in the first half. Madison Shaw with 11, followed by Layla Davis with 6, and Sarah Kate Yancey with 3. Mallory Brooks with 2 for Southside, and then scoring-wise for Sardis, Taylor with 6 and 2 each for Mia Fowler and Adriana Padier. We'll take this time out, and we'll have a visit with Coach
Rob.
Mike Robertson.
We'll just keep it right here for this. I'll hand Coach Rob the wireless mic, and we'll talk a little bit. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine, and kind of glad it's the last night.
This week's been pretty tough, hasn't it?
Yes, sir, it has. But, we've had great lines of communication. Dr. Cosby, Mr. Calhoun, our principal, and our coaches. And, all the coaches know what has to happen. I mean, you can't put people on the highways when it's icy. But it's been a good week. Great nights of a lot of people.
Talk a little bit, Coach, about what it takes to put something like this on for the school. I mean, you guys not only do the basketball tournament, but you get all the county responsibilities this year, right?
Yes, sir, we do. Every 6 years this comes around. And I was kidding all of them. The last time we hosted this, I didn't think I'd be sitting here, Jim. I wanted to be here, but not in the role that I'm in. But anyway.
Coach, you've been telling me for 10 years that this is it. This is it. This is it. It's not. Well, you're going to outlive us all.
Well, the way I feel right this minute, as tired as I am. But, no, to put something like this on, it takes a lot of people. It starts with Dr. Cosby, obviously, but Mr. Calhoun and our basketball varsity coaches, Coach Talbert and Coach Smith, doing their part on the basketball, because we had all county plaques to give out the last 2 nights. So we had to start on that way back 2 or 3 weeks ago, and making sure we don't make a mistake from spelling a kid's name to make sure he gets a plaque. But it's been a successful week, it looks like. But, you know, it's like a ball game. You're going to have something happen during a game, that adversity. Coach Saban talks about it. You know, what do you do when you have adversity? So the corporation of all the coaches moving the schedule, the middle school coaches and teachers over there, principal, Dr. Neal helped us with the JV tournament over there. So it's turned out okay.
And, of course, we couldn't talk about something like this without mentioning our buddy Scott Reeves in the city and all they do to help out.
Oh, all the sponsors. And, you know, the mayor is really responsible for he helped you some, I understand.
Yep.
Getting sponsors. You know, we can't do without those sponsors because it takes a lot of money to do this, from buying the plaques to sponsoring the food at the hospitality room. I think you may have been out there a couple of times.
Well,
Jim.
actually, I hadn't made it, Coach. I look like I might have, but I haven't made it just yet.
Well, we've got some good things out there to eat, so you might want to try it if you have time. But you're a busy man. But no, you know, this goes back to the 70s when I got to play in this, and then I coached in it for 28 years, girls and JV boys, and helped Coach Serafini and other coaches in this. But it's really exciting for the players. You know, we used to have it at Gaston State. I know Calhoun County, and I'm sure a lot of Calhoun County may be watching in tonight, but, you know, they have Jacksonville State. But we used to have it at Gaston State, but, you know, this gym's about 3 times the size of Gaston State. So we started moving it to campus, on all the campuses, and with all these nice gyms we have. So it kind of brings in a little bit more of a crowd because they have a place to sit, I guess would be the best way to put it.
Well, you need a place to sit if you buy a ticket, that's for sure. And, you know, I think it's great that it can actually, you know, happen on the campuses around the county. I think it gives it a little greater atmosphere.
Well, it does, but some people think we still should be playing at a neutral site, but, you know, we don't have a team in it tonight, so it's not a really big home court advantages because many of these gyms are basically the same gym with a different color scheme, but it's still it was one of my memorable things as a player, much less as a coach.
Well, Coach, talk a little bit about the football reclassification and all that, and your thoughts on where Hokes Bluff will start this fall.
Well, I'm excited. We've got some good players back, but after that, now you're making me sick at my stomach, Jim. You know, we went 4A. We've been there before, and we've won there before with some really good people, but I feel like it's going to be another SEC Central, as you like to call it. Sometimes we have talking, and yeah, we're going to be a really tough schedule, and our teams, non-region teams, I don't know who's making the schedule out, but I need to kick myself in the butt. But we've got a tough road. But I do have some good players coming back. We do, and we're excited. You know, ended up with a playoff team this year. So, but you know, talking about 4A, 3A, there's good teams at both levels. So you know it is.
Yeah, and of course I think we're blessed with having really great athletics all around this part of the state.
Well, you know, I thought a few years ago we might have had lost a little bit, the surrounding counties, but I think it's picked back up now. You know, it runs in cycles sometimes. They're not take away from the kids that played in the past, but some years you just have better teams than others. But we've got a lot of blue trophies in this area. That's all I'll say.
Coach, I think I see a little signal coming from the hospitality room. I think they need some ice. They may need you.
Well, I appreciate. Well, that's kind of been my role this week. Get the ice and the trophies ready. But hey, coming on board, this adds so much to the atmosphere. I've had people come by and say, "Well, if the weather's bad, I just might watch it on TV."
Gymnasium at Hokes Bluff High School as Sardis will begin the third quarter with the basketball.
Need a little run here to try to get back into this one and hope that the defense continues to hold like it has in the second quarter.
There's a good entry feed as the turnaround no good for Wilmore and the rebound for Grace Ann Rose. Jovi Marble walks it up the floor as both teams with their original starting five to start the third quarter. Marble in front of us. Over to Yancey as she'll dribble toward the top of the key. Still a zone defense for Sardis as Marble, one dribble over to Yancey. There's the entry pass to Rose as she gets fouled on her way to the basket.
And that's what Southside wants to do. They want to get it into Rose, and as much as they want her to go to the rim, James, they want her to have that kick-out option to all those shooters. So when that zone does its job and eliminates the inbounds pass or the in the lane pass to Rose, it kind of limits what Southside can do offensively other than just toss it around the perimeter.
Free throw good for Rose as that's her first point of the ball game. Was held scoreless in the first 16 minutes of play. As Grace Ann Rose back to the line. Also, by the way, Veda Wilmore on the foul. Her third is the free throw, no good. So just 1 of 2 for Grace Ann Rose from the free throw line. Sardis with the basketball as they'll go up against a soft man-to-man defense for the Lady Panthers. That's a great behind-the-back dribble, but the layup, however, no good for Sardis. Knight that time with some good ball handling, but couldn't finish on the drive. Yancey floats it over to Rose. Kick out to Davis. Pump fakes. Shoots, or rather, good ball movement as Rose out to Shaw. No good on the three. However, a second try coming up for South